If you want miracles, be one. These are the words of IAS officer Armstrong Pame, also known as the Miracle Man. Hailing from a humble background in the remote northeast district of Tamil Nadu, he cracked the UPSC CSE in 2008 and built a road called the People's Road. He was honored with the India's most eminent IAS officer award for his leadership in constructing the People's Road in Manipur without any government assistance. gnoTalks 2022 welcomes you, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here, and I'm happy to be sharing the little experiences and the journey that I've been through in the last 13-14 years of being in the civil service.
So starting with the first question, so you were the first person from your community to crack the prestigious UPSC examination. So did you have any role model who inspired you to choose this career?
Not necessarily a particular person, but I myself grew up from these difficult areas. I have walked kilometers after kilometers on barefoot. Sometimes we used to walk from my village to the district headquarters for 2 days on foot. Those were the journeys that made me realize that if you want to bring certain solution, a better life to the people there, you got to be a civil servant. Because as I grew up, the best person that we can see to bring the development, the changes, was the deputy commissioner of the district. As a kid, as a school kid, on 15 August, Republic Day, whenever we do mascots, parade, we hear the speeches of the DMs, the changes that can be brought about, that are being brought about. We grew up listening to them. So I thought that was the best position to bring certain changes, if at all you want to bring changes. And I'm glad, to a certain extent, I have not added problems to the already existing problems. I've been able to bring little changes to make the lives of the people there better. So I feel I've got into the right job. I'm living my dream job every day, and I have no regrets about it. I'm extremely happy and satisfied.
That's really great, sir. So you led the construction of a 100-kilometer long road, which is now known as the People's Road, without any government assistance. So do you believe it is difficult for bureaucrats to implement their idea in society without any aid?
Well, people say without government's help, Well, let's not put it that way. Because I get my salary from the government. My bread and butter is the government. Government made me what I am today. So I know it's not an easy task, but I, being a domicile of Manipur, I was posted at the right place, the right time, and I understand the geography, the people very well. And that was the opportunity I decided to take head on, the problem that I know very well. So why not? Why only wait for the government to do everything? We have in our system that, until and unless the government comes and do this thing, I will not do it. Even if, a simple example, even if you see a plastic bottle or a plastic rag on the street, you do not want to pick it up though the dustbin is beside you, thinking that sarkari ka kaam hai, some sweeper should come and pick this up. I think we should let go of this attitude, and that's exactly what happened with the People's Road. Government has lots of priorities, right? Government has lots of commitments. Health, education, road, this and that. My place where I was posted is a little lesser known place with not so many people. Difficult hill terrains. Now for a state government like Manipur to spend crores and crores of money, where will we get resources? As I shared yesterday, it was not easy to get funding from the center immediately. So what we decided, let's do what we can. And I'm sure the government will come around. And exactly this happened. Today the government has come after we constructed this patch road. Government has come and declared it as a National Highway 137. Road construction is fully on now. the government has sanctioned about 3,000 crores. So that's how it is. So we do not wait for government to come and do everything. We take up what we can as a responsible citizens. That's the message I want to tell each and every listeners, including many of the students whom we interacted yesterday.
Sure. We should take the initiative.
Exactly.
So people generally face difficulty in approaching administrative officers for their work. Sir, what are your insights on how we can enhance the accessibility, sir?
See, we used to read in our books and in histories that, civil servants should work behind the curtain. Civil servants are faceless. I think time has gone, where civil servants should remain anonymous and not known to the public. I think those were histories. Now civil servants are coming forward. They have their social medias account. They have, if you name it, Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you name it. For example, I am so fond of Facebook. I have maybe about 30,000 plus followers. I do many of my works through Facebook. I put them up for suggestions. People give me good suggestions. I want to get this work done. I put up on Facebook. People comes to help me. Exactly. The People's Road was constructed through the mostly funding that comes from people because they came to know about this road from Facebook. We were posting the progress of the road online, Facebook. People from England, from UAE, from America, they would seek comments, details about this road through Facebook. And that's why it took the attention of, Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg to send people from Facebook headquarters to film the entire events. So I think the talk, the discussion that bureaucrats, civil servants are unreachable, I think those are things of the past, and we are opening up in many ways. Today, as I sit in Sastri Bhavan in my office, I get at least 10-20 calls every day from normal public inquiring about the files, inquiring about this and that, because my phone is available online. You just have to open up the website of, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. They call me up on my landline. Many of them have my mobile number too, and my email is on public platforms. They send me, I make sure that I open up my email and I reply. Even if I cannot reply immediately, I make sure that I reply in 1-2 days time. And exactly how I came to your college, none of you called me up first. Someone sent me an email. Then we started communicating over email. So people talks about bureaucrats being unreachable. I think they didn't search enough. So we're very open, and that's a new bureaucracy India is having today. And I'm very happy that we are opening up in lots of ways.
So sir, as you said that it's the era when the civil servant should not remain anonymous.
Exactly. I don't believe that, there is nothing that is beneficial for us by staying behind the curtain. Because we are here for the public service. We call ourselves public servant. If the public never gets to know the face of their servant, the face of someone who is supposed to deliver them the government services, how are they to come to know about the schemes? How are they to come to know about the deliverables that we are supposed to give? So I think we're reachable.
Sir, actually nowadays many people just join social media to increase their followers. So sir, how do you think that civil servants strike a balance between the civil servant anonymity and the positive use of social media as you did in the People's Road case?
See, I do not think that at least the civil servants would have joined the social media just to increase their followers. Let me be clear on that. I have one IAS officer, my batchmate, Mr. Awanish Sharan. He has, I think, I do not exactly remember, I think he must be having at least 1 million followers. He doesn't do that to popularize himself. No. In one of the post on Twitter that he put up, that he puts it up, he click a very, very suitable photos. He click a photograph of the wastage food and he put it on his Twitter account. The photo that the wedding photographers missed. Wedding photographer never took the wastage food, right? 50% of the food got wasted. And it's so educational, it's so inspiring. And he's telling the truth. Do you know that, 1/3 of the food that we're supposed to eat but got wasted could have fit all the hungers? We never take that into account. Many of the civil servants use social media platforms to enhance the quality of the works that they are doing, to get feedback, for educational purpose. I do not think that many civil servants would change their profile pictures twice a day, like many normal social media guys would do. Not many of the civil servants will take their social media account and just put up some lousy statement. I do not think that way. So many of us civil servants, especially me, if you see most of my Facebook accounts, I put an account, I put something new maybe twice in a month or 4 times in a month, or if more, maybe 5-6 times in a month. And I used to put only the, things that I feel is important. So, we do not just use social media just to, gain popularity and fame. So, I think I am quite clear on that. I definitely do not want any popularity through Facebook or through other social media platform. And I think many of us as a civil servants are extremely clear on that. That I can assure you.
Thank you, sir, for such a beautiful response. Sir, you had shared a post on Facebook regarding the use of racist remarks and the discrimination that Northeastern people face during COVID. Sir, how can we improve this situation and ensure that all Indians, regardless of their ethnicity or background, are treated as equals?
So, this was the time when I was a DM in my district. I was getting hundreds of calls every day because people from my district and from my state are spread across the entire country. There were some few students in your college also from Manipur. Now, when the coronavirus started, no one knew what it was. They only started calling Chinese virus, right? So, everyone who looks like Chinese, who has that Mongoloid looks, smaller eyes compared to many of yours, they started leveling them as a Chinese. Now, many of the peoples in different cities were facing these discriminations. So, how do we deal with this? One of the mediums that I could reach out was to tell people through my social media platform, please do not think it that way. We are all one. We're from the same country. We have eaten the same food as you do. We sing the same national anthem. That's what I was telling. And now, I believe that with increasing penetration of the various cross-cultural things that's happening, maybe through movies. You must have seen Mary Kom movie played by Priyanka Chopra. And in fact, the best thing is, whenever big events of sports comes up, like the Olympics or Commonwealth, that's the best time I feel to educate about the Northeastern people to the rest of the countries. At least people in different parts of the countries comes to know, oh, there are people who looks different from us, but we belong to the same country, hoisting the same flag and singing the same national anthems. That's the best time to do that. And I'm glad that different parts of the countries are now getting to recognize the importance of the people from Northeast. And in fact, let me come back to social medias. And now everyone who has a smartphone has a social media account. They can easily see whatever I posted or people from Northeast post. So I believe our country is actually getting really, really integrated, and this social discrimination is now come down to a great extent, and the responsibility is on each one of us to show respect to people, however different they look, however different language they speak. You know, I have been to different parts of the country. Whenever I go to the rural parts of the country, they look at me as if they have never seen a creature like me. And then I start speaking to them in my broken Hindi. Then they'll be surprised. I said, I'm also one of you. So like this, slowly, we are actually, looking forward to ending all of these racisms and discriminations. It doesn't matter how yellow you look, how brown you look, how black you look. We're all human beings together at the end of the day.
Yes, sir. So moving on to the next question. Sir, given the ecological importance of the Northeast, how can we maintain a balance between the environmental sustainability with the connectivity and the developmental projects in the Northeast?
So I always used to tell my friends in Bombay and Delhi and other parts of the metropolitans, Northeast does not have resources, minerals like coal or aluminum or whatever, petrol. No. The only resources that we have is the forests, the natural settings that we have, the gift from God. Now, if one day Northeast decides to sell its resources, cut down every tree, so empty the forest, you guys will have no fresh air to breathe, right? I'm sure that certain percentage of the fresh oxygen that you get today, many of them are a contribution from the northeastern sectors. So do not compel the people of Northeast to start selling their natural resources. That's what I used to tell them. So many people question, so much of money is going to Northeast area. Yes, it's because we do not want to exhaust all our natural resources. And that's why place like other places, other states, wherever there are resources, it's only right that you transfer to Northeast so that we come up equally together in the level of development. That's what I keep saying. So now, but we also cannot deny the people of Northeast forever. In the name of preserving forests, how can we stop the road construction? You cannot force people to carry their sick people on bamboo stretcher forever just because we have to protect the trees. No. We give them the basic sustainability sectors like the road, the health, and all of this. And the villagers, they are wise enough to preserve the ecological balance. For thousands of years they have been doing. And they will continue to do. In the last, I think it's already a week ago that I posted about one initiatives that I wanted to start. We talk a lot about preserving our natural environment. We talk about how to protect our environment. We sit together in 5-star hotels. We do so many things, but in reality, we do not get to action. I'll tell you an example. I was in Boston. I went for a short course at Harvard University. The weather was so fine, but they were still using AC. Can you believe that? Last night I did not even use fan. Had it been in US, they would have been using AC. Forget fan only. I landed up in a hotel in Washington, DC. I was staying close to the airport. The weather was so fine. I wanted to open the window. There was no provision for windows to be open. Huh? So they had to use, I had to only use AC. I was saying, yeah, these people, I would frankly say, we talk too much about environment, but protecting the environment, but actually we are exploiting it fully. As long as it is to our comfort, we will keep talking but not do anything about it. So I said, fine, every year in a village where I come from, a family of 5 members would cut down a tree's cover of at least 2 to 3 acres in a year just to do this Zoom cultivation. Just to earn the entire value of the cropping that they would do would be just for 1 lakh rupees in a year, and they would cut down about 1,000 trees. Imagine there are 100 families in my village. 100 into 1,000, so you have how much? 1 lakh trees being cut down in 1 year. Now, I want to challenge some of my friends who talks a lot about this environment. Let's come together. At least this year, let us stop 2-3 families from cutting down these trees. We will give them this money, maybe 1 lakh, in various installments, so that this family can go into alternative source of livelihood, rearing animals, doing some horticultural farms, this and that, grow orange, grow kiwi and others. This alternative source of livelihood will make their lives better. Secondly, they become the protector of those trees which would have been cut down had we not come to help. So I am challenging some of my friends. Not many responses are coming because maybe they do not understand, or maybe they want to continue talking and not do anything about it. So I think we have to start somewhere, all of these initiatives. So striking a right balance is required, but most importantly, we also have to start taking individual initiatives. Like, for example, when I go to a shop, even if they give me plastic bags, I refuse. Simple thing as that. So many of us can contribute in different ways to save our planet.
Surely, sir, taking small initiative at individual level is the way to go. So be all that you can be and enable others to be all that they can be.
Yes.
Is your life motto.
Yes.
Sir, how do you put this statement into your life now, sir, when you are not on the field, working as a Deputy Secretary of the Government of India in Delhi?
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. This is the same question I keep questioning myself every day. Because now that I'm not in the field, I do not get to interact with the common people. How do I live this life, the life's motto? Am I doing the best that I can? And while doing this, am I allowing others to become all that they can be? So I divide my life in two phases now. The official normal works, because now the nature of the work is mostly policy making. I assist in policy making of the ministry to my higher authorities. I'll tell you something very interesting that's happening. The ministry that I'm in, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, we're coming up with a very interesting policy for animation, visual effects, gaming and comics. If you see any movies now, I think 80-90% of them are animated and visual effects, right? If you see movies like RRR, I think 95% of them are visual effects, starting from the tiger or those scenes and others. Now, if you look at this, I'm sure many of you had seen that movie Top Gun, the new Top Gun, Maverick. I think about 600 shots were done in India by Indians. Now, we have so much of potentials, but our country still do not have national policies. Suppose if you are interested today We do not have a national policy where you can go and be trained. None of the course government is giving subsidy because government is yet to be involved, right? And some of the existing courses are very expensive. So what we do in our ministry, we are looking towards bringing a new national policy so that we set up, say, center of excellence in every state, every districts. Suppose if you are talented, if you know how to do sketching, paintings, we give you opportunities for you to come and enhance your skill so that you can be absorbed in the movie making industry. How good is that? It has one of the best potential to generate 2 lakhs employment every year for the next 10 years. So that's where one of the official nature of the works comes into play. So I look at it as how do I, sitting here in Sastri Bhavan, solves the national problems like unemployment, the hunger, the poverty, So I believe working in this national policy level, I can contribute a lot. That's what I believe in. Now the second phase is basically the non-official part. This is equally interesting. After about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I sit in the office till 7 o'clock almost every day. And on weekends, I do the other phase too. Like, how do I continue with my work? How do I continue sending those girls and boys for nursing colleges to Narayana Rudalaya in Bangalore, one of the finest nursing colleges in the country, with 50% subsidies. The remaining 50%, how do I raise funds for them, for these boys and girls who are from poor families? Many of them doesn't have the resources to pay. I remember, very specifically, this year, one girl joined this nursing college. In 2019, on one of my tours, I conducted a health camp with the doctors. There, one farmer brought his wife, who became blind, just 3 months ago. He brought her for a health checkup. They couldn't do anything about it. We sent her to a better health center. She had completely gone blind. I felt so pity in my heart. At that time, I could not do anything for her. However, after coming back, Manipur government had introduced a disability scheme to get 1,500 rupees a month. I make sure that she gets it, and she's getting it now. Now this year, his daughter passed out class 12. She did not know what to do next. I make sure that she goes for this nursing. I want to get sponsorship for her. I call up one of my friends working in Tata Consultancy Service. Her name is Anna Rachel, my college junior. I said, Anna, you pay this girl 2,500 rupees every month so that her maize fee, some part is covered. And when I meet my corporate friends, I ask them, please pay the fees of this girl. I have paid certain amount, the remaining to pay. Like her, there are so many more others, whose life I want to keep changing. So this year, 20 of them had joined nursing. I coordinate all of this after my normal office works. I'm happy to tell you that just this 1st of November, the initiative which I started has taken off. So there is something called the Rural Livelihood Mission. Recruiting human resource was difficult. So I met one of my good friends here in Manipur. Through her, I met another friend of hers who has a big foundation called the Vedis Foundation. We started negotiation somewhere in the month of June, July. We negotiated, requested them to come to Manipur. They are now there in Manipur. They are going to spend 1.5 crore every year for running this rural livelihood mission. It's done. It has started working on the 1st of November. Only last night I was coordinating through friends to set up 10-bedded ICU facilities in many different parts of Northeast. I have few friends who has the potential to donate to different hospitals. So 5 district hospitals they have identified, 2 in Mizoram, 1 in Arunachal Pradesh, 2 in Manipur, 5, 6 of them. I wanted to connect to Tripura, so I was talking to few people in Tripura only last night. So those are the things that keeps me going. And today, today or tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting some more friends to help set up some, model village. So all of this keeps going. So that's the second phase of my life. And I'm extremely excited that, I do not have time to waste. Be it traveling, be it taking rest or whatever, I have always something to do. So that's how I believe I continue living my theme to be all that I can be, so that in whatever little ways that I can, to help others to become all that they can be.
That's really insightful, sir. Thank you. So last but not the least, what advice do you like to give to the college students like us who would soon venture into the real and sometimes unfair world but want to make a positive impact in the society anyway?
So, extremely important topic. See, frustrations run so high amongst the young people. India is also one of the countries that sees the highest suicide rates. You see people who had studied in IITs, in topmost medical institutions, committing suicide. I tell them simply, you're fooling yourself if you feel that you're taking the entire problem to yourself, thinking that there is no better tomorrow and taking your own life. You're just being too foolish. Look at the bright, positive sides of life, yeah? We have so many things to learn from. We have so many things to do. There are people who are facing even greater, bigger problems. If a simple farmer in a village which has not seen electricity or roads can still wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, go to a field, do his cultivation, comes back at sunset, comes back happily, share dinner with his family, sleep off. You are here in the best possible place, best possible time of our lives. Do not give up on life. You have full of life to live. And do not take your life, your personal life, too seriously that you forget to enjoy life. I have seen many people taking themselves too seriously as if they have been given the burden to change the world. Yes, we all have the responsibility to change whatever we can in our own possible ways. But I'm telling you, your problem is also being faced by so many people. You are not the one facing this problem alone. Reach out to your friends when you have problems. Share with them. You feel better. That's how we need to reach out. Don't think that if your problem comes to you today, you're just not going to settle it, so you better die. Don't give up on life so easily. Now, for many of you who would be venturing out, into this reality, the harsh reality of life, where competition is so high in every possible jobs, there are 2-3 things I want to tell you. Number 1, life is tough, but it is not so bad that you have to give up. No. It is tough, but it is also beautiful. Look at the bright side of life. Be an optimistic person. When any situation is given to you, don't first start thinking of what you cannot do. Let me just give you an example. 2 prisoners kept in a desert. The first prisoner went out and looked downward. He only see sands after sands after sands. He came back to his friend and said, "Buddy, we're doomed to die here." He cried. His friend went out. He looked up the sky. In desert, it's a clear sky, right? He came back and said, "Look, buddy, the sky is so clear. Look at the moon shining for us. Look at the stars. Our families must be looking at the same stars and the moon. And they must be waiting and yearning for us to come back. And one day I hope to see them and be reunited to look up the same sky." He smiled. I want you to be that second person who looks at the positive side of life. There will be so many hurts, different reality of life. But look at the positive sides. Second thing is, keep some good friends with you. It's very important. Because all of us face difficulties at one point or the other. Be it in your job, be it in your personal relationship, this and that. Keep some good friends whom you can relate to, whom you can share your difficulties. This will help you a lot. The third thing, never try to take advantage over the weakness of others for your own good. No, do not do that. If, just simple example, if you're running a race, if a person who is handicapped is about to cross a line, and you're coming close to it, let him cross, no problem. You will get your chance again. It's good to give opportunity to others whom you feel a little weaker, a little lesser. You will not lose much. It's good to give opportunities for others. And see, in India we find not much of this. Simple example, in traffic light, right? Everyone wants to go ahead of you. Have you observed that? Everyone wants to outrun you. Now, if you keep doing that in life, you will have no time to enjoy life. So, these are my simple things, advice to you. And lastly but not the least, keep looking out for opportunities, how you can give back to your society. How you can convince the people around you and impact positively to the people around you. Simple things. If you happen to work in a big office, take out 10-20 minutes to teach the kids in your neighborhood. This will give you a big perspective of life. Please learn to do that and keep looking out to make differences in the life of others. So all the best to all of you as you move out of this college.
That's a great advice, sir. What we conclude from the life of the miracle man is that there is no miracle in life. It is just the one we create. With this, it's a wrap for this interview. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time and keep inspiring the student like us.
Thank you so much. Please do not call me Miracle Man. Please continue calling me the Village Boy. I love that name.